Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Sunday Night Live My Life series episode. Tonight is Mr. Duane of Mothership Products. And I will be, want to get this out of the way first. Yes, I did have Brian as my guest planned, the albatross. But due to personal reasons of my own, I felt that my channel was not, or the show was not the right avenue for it. Not that I don't believe in what he has to say or what he's going through. It's just personal for myself to say that it wasn't the right fit for a Sunday night episode. So, with that being said, Duane was willing to fill in, and here we are.
How are you guys? Oh, is that you echoing or me?
I think that was you.
All right, hold on.
And while he's dealing with that, I want to thank I hope everybody's having a good holiday weekend. Since tomorrow is the 4th, so don't forget, anything you sell goes out Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on your shipping handling.
Is that better?
Yeah, you sound fine to me.
Okay, very good.
All right, well, whenever you're ready to start telling them about your life or whatever.
Well, I was born a poor black child on the wrong side of the tracks. Oh, whoa, no, sorry, wrong story. My name's Duane Hale. I'm part of Mothership Products. My wife is the other part of it. We live here in Bountiful, Utah, which is a suburb of Salt Lake. You know, I've been reselling since, I don't know, off and on since 2011, 2012. Yeah, 2012 is when we started the business, Mothership Products LLC, and that's when we, you know, really started forcing the issue on selling stuff. And, but before that, there was, you know, stuff here and there on eBay. You know, if you, just like everybody, kind of buy here or sell there, kind of stuff. Let's see. How old am I? 40. How old am I? 45. I'm 45. I have to do the math every time. I never remember. So born in 71. Had normal childhood, really. You know, grew up playing and riding bicycles and doing all the stuff that we used to do back then. And let's see. Joined the military when I was 19. Became a United States Marine. Served for 6 years. Got out in 1996. Met my wife shortly thereafter, and we've been together for whatever the math is on that, 20 years, 18 years married, got 3 children. Ian's 23, Natalie and Jeremy were born on the same day, July 5th. So here in 2 days, I have a child turning 18 and my youngest turning 16. So my wife did pretty good on that, you know, timing that just right.
Well, you had to help.
What's that?
You had help me.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, but see, the thing was, is my daughter was 6 weeks early, and my son was 4 weeks early. So neither one of them was due anywhere near July 5th, but they both decided to show up on July 5th. So, so that was cool. Let's see. I don't know. What do you guys want to know? I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of an open book. You ask me, I'll tell you pretty much.
Well, were you a reseller? Or what, how'd you get into what brought you to the reseller?
Yeah. Well, I got interested in doing storage units, and of course, when you do that, you have to have an outlet for sales. We have a thing here called KSL.com. It's an equivalent to Craigslist. It's just more local. So I used to do a lot with that, selling. You know, I'd buy the storage unit and go through it, do all the hard. It's a lot of work, by the way, to do storage units. A lot of work. You know, you never see all the trips to the dump and the sorting and having to wear gloves because of all the nastiness and people that store weird things like stored food, so all the animals get in there, and you don't see that until after you bought it, stuff like that. But anyway, I'd get a hold of it, and at first we started, like I said, selling on Craigslist KSL, which is, like I said, similar. And then some of it was too good for that. You know, you figured, well, we can probably get more money. So pushed it out on to eBay. And then shortly, just about last year, we started doing some Amazon stuff because we were getting a little bit more new stuff. And I'd go to the thrift stores and find things that are better than, better than Craigslist, better than eBay. So, put it out on Amazon. I also, at the same time, opened an e-waste company, electronic waste company. To what I would do is buy all, or not buy, but take all the electronic waste in the valley. I'd put a couple ads in on Craigslist and everything, and I'd go and pick up computers, TVs, stereos, stuff that people were just going to throw away anyway, and break it down to their base metals and recycle them. And that was actually pretty good money, and I still do that. I don't do it as much right now because the market is so far down for scrap metals. But when gold was really high, computers were, they were worth quite a bit. They were worth $15 just in scrap metal, in the gold on the boards and stuff. And the older the computers, the more gold that they used, because gold was cheaper back then, and the chips were bigger, so they had to use more gold there too. So you could make pretty decent money on an old 386 or 486 processor board because there was quite a bit of gold on it. I never processed it down to gold. I would just take the boards and sell it to a place that would process it. And like I said, I made pretty decent money there. I do have a real job, or another job, another source of income, I should say. I run a calibration lab for Tektronix. We do calibration of commercial test equipment, which is, everything from calipers, micrometers, multimeters, oscilloscopes, depending on how, torque wrenches, all that kind of stuff. So there was just, lots of stuff to do there. And part of the selling on eBay is things that I would end up with old, outdated equipment that somebody didn't want to deal with. And there's actually a pretty decent market for old used test equipment. People want to, they grew up using this specific oscilloscope, and so they go out looking for that oscilloscope. I made decent money there. I sold quite a few things that way. So what do we got going in this chat? Any questions?
Well, we got one question from Angie.
Okay. Hey, Angie, how are you?
She wants to know
how what? I'm sorry?
Echo.
Oh, I still am echoing?
They're saying it.
Oh, I don't hear an echo. Is it still echoing, guys?
I hear it.
Well, how? What am I? I mean, what do I do?
I don't know. I don't know if my answer. We were talking about an echo earlier.
Huh. Well, let us know in the chat if we're still echoing badly, or if you guys can figure it out, because I only run a calibration lab. I'm not technical at all. So, let's see. It says, "Tell us the dirt, Duane. Were you rowdy in the Marines?" Well, let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, I probably would be considered one of those types. I had some troubles before I got into Marine Corps. I was heading down the wrong path, let's put it that way, and I needed to fix my life, and that's why I decided to go in the Marine Corps. And because of that, I was a decent Marine, but I didn't fit in very well. I'm too much of a free thinker, and they don't want you to think in the military. They just want you to do. So I don't know, I had some troubles, but nothing major. I mean, I wasn't, bad conduct discharge or anything silly like that. But I did do, I sowed my oats. I was pretty crazy. Went to Japan for a year, and it was, I worked as a bartender for a year in Japan, and they say you find one of three things in Okinawa, Japan. When you're a Marine, you either find God, you find the bottle, or you learn to do physical. You know, you do a lot of running and such. And I chose the bottle. So there we go. Oh, see, look at you, silly stuff. I knew it.
Well, actually,
What's that?
garage first has to be excellent, but it's actually coming from you.
Huh? What can I do to change that?
I don't know. That's how I got headbuds or earbuds on, but that's why I tried doing that so that nobody can hear me with my mic. So
Yeah, I can try headphones if you want me to.
well, actually, I'll try something and hope
Okay.
it works. But first, I said I don't hear an echo.
Yeah, I don't either. So that's what.
There are a couple of questions above that though. One from Garage Flips. How do you break the electronics down? You have crazy shredders and magnets and stuff. And then there's one from Swamp that has asked about hazmat.
Okay, let's see. Let me go back up to see if I can get the. How do I break the electronics? Do I have crazy shredders and magnets and stuff? Okay, breaking down the electronics is really, it was simple for that point. I mean, I didn't start a huge company, a commercial company. I mean, it was a commercial company, but it wasn't. I didn't have shredders and stuff like that. I just basically would take a computer, tear it apart, put all the steel in one pile, put all the gold laden boards in another, all the wires in another pile, and just went from there. There were very few things that ended up being hazmat. Plasma TVs have some hazmat material. And then after I had done that for a while, the lead in TV, the old CRTs, has lead in it. And they'd quit recycling it. It used to be that they would recycle TVs. They'd give you a couple dollars a piece for them, a whole, and that would take care of getting rid of all the lead and everything out of the glass. But they stopped doing that. So at that point, I stopped accepting TVs because it just wasn't worth. Because then after that, I had to pay $5 to get rid of them. So it's like, well, that doesn't work. You know, it's the opposite of the way I want to do things. So I quit accepting TVs. But of all the hazmat stuff, that really was all it ended up being was plasma TVs and then after a while CRTs, the lead in the glass.
Garage Flips wants to know, what about all the electrolytic capacitors?
Electrolytic capacitors. Everything that I broke down, they were the electrolytics. That's usually old school stuff, and the place that I would send my brown boards, they didn't care about them. They would just they would take care of the hazmat as it was. Electrolytic they're liquid filled capacitors from old days. They still use them a little bit today, but not nearly as much as they used to. Like I said, the place that I would take it to would take care of that. I didn't have to worry about that one, thank goodness. Otherwise, that would have been a big pain. All right, let's see. What other questions we got?
There aren't any other questions yet. So, well, okay. How were you as a student in school?
I did well. My mother stayed home when I was a kid, so I learned to read and write early. I could read and write when I was 3. So, and at that point, my mom really taught me how to learn, which I think is really important. And so, yeah, I didn't really have too hard of a time at school until I got, I got to the fume era, which is perfume and car fumes. When you get to that era, the late stages of high school, then everything, everybody goes crazy, So, yeah, I struggled to finish because at the time when I was 17, me and my dad had some struggles. So I moved out and lived in a tent in the mountains for about 4 or 5 months, and I had a hard time getting to school, and And that, you know, that was tough for a while, but I figured, you know, I had put 11.5 years into this trek called school. Might as well finish it out. You know, I mean, it would be kind of a waste to waste 11.5 years and just not be able to show anything for it. So I finished up, graduated. I don't know what my GPA was, 3, 4, some, you know, just average, I would say, a little bit above average maybe. So, yeah, I didn't have too much trouble with school.
Congratulations. What are your biggest sellers?
What are my biggest? Now I don't do vintage electronics because it really takes, I don't know. For me, I have a hard time with the packaging and stuff like that. Test equipment back then was a lot different, and the techies that, you know, want an oscilloscope are different than the people that are looking for a stereo system. You know, I could say, yeah, it works, it powers on, but I don't know anything else about it. And a lot of the people that buy the test equipment don't really care if it works. They want to fix it. That's one of their things, is they want to, you know, figure out how to fix it. And so that's the kind of difference between what I consider vintage stereo electronics and vintage test equipment. I don't do test equipment too much now because now I work more for a commercial lab, and I don't really end up with a lot more of extra stuff. I have a bunch in my storage unit I really should go through and sell off. But yeah, I do a lot of men's clothing now on eBay. Like, everybody seems to be commenting on my shirt. Nice, you know, got the Woody here, the Woody car here, and Hawaiian shirts. I do a lot of higher end shirts, stuff like that. And then I'm kind of going into a little bit more other stuff, really. I mean, you know, different clothing, and just like everybody else, you know, you test the waters on other things and find out, you know, what makes money. Okay, now garage flips. I didn't say I had a Woody. I said there's a Woody on my shirt. So, anyway, what else you got?
Well, what else are you into besides ice cream?
I'm sorry.
What else are you into besides ice cream? You know, I'm into poker and stuff like that.
Well, you know, I play poker because I've played you all before. I play poker on, you know, just on an app and such. I'm in Utah, so there's very little actual poker out there unless I want to drive an hour and a half, and then I get to the Nevada border and I can gamble there. I don't really gamble a lot though anymore. Let's see, what else do I like to do? I used to hike, but now I'm too fat to do that. My back hurts and my knees hurt, and I need to do much more of it, honestly. What else do I like to do? I like to fish. I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty a boring person that way. God, why you have to ask the hard questions?
Well, okay, what kind of fishing do you like to do?
Well, there's a lot of trout here in Utah, so I do a lot of trout fishing, you know, which is bait fishing. If I had a boat, I'd do trolling, but I don't really, we don't have a boat. I used to. My kids hated it, so I got rid of it. Oh, here's something I didn't tell you. I used to race cars. Back before I met my wife, I won a championship here. What year was that? 1996. Racing cars, circle track. I also used to drag race before that, so I am heavily into cars. My dad owns an automotive machine shop, so I've been building motors since I was 12. I mean, actually building them all myself and selling them and stuff like that. So that's something I forgot to tell you about. But then again, like I said, I found my wife and family, and racing takes a lot of time and effort and a lot of money. And at the time I didn't have a lot of that. So I chose the family in hopes that I could get back to cars someday. I did drag racing when I was in high school, legally. Well, and illegally, but that's something else. let's see.
Any cars.
What type of cars? I had a mini stock is what I won the championship with, which was a 1979 Ford Mustang. Basically the Pinto with a trunk kind of idea. It had a 4-cylinder in it, and that was the class that I was running at the time. My brother was running a different class, and my parents decided right away that we could not be in the same class because we're just too competitive. We'd end up killing each other on the track. So he had to be in a different class than I was. So we went that way.
Oh, and earlier from Tanya, she wants to know, so when are you moving to Texas?
Yeah, well, and I had talked about that because we're tired of living here. So yeah, anybody that wants to throw in their 2 cents on where we should move. I've been in Utah my whole life, except when I was in the Marine Corps. My wife got here in the late 80s or mid 80s, and she's been trying to get out of here ever since. It's like it's a wormhole. You come to Salt Lake, you come to Utah, and you can't get out. I don't know what the deal is. I was out of work for 5 months here a couple years back, and I applied everywhere in the country except Utah, and that's where I got job offers. I got 2 job offers from Utah. So somebody was telling me I needed to stay here for that. So, but I'm ready to go. I see Angie says Pennsylvania. I have seen where she lives, bits and pieces on her Periscope, and that's beautiful. I want green
here. I need a picking buddy.
I can't do it, man. See, your Colorado Pueblo is no different than Utah. It's the same. There's just a line in between us. That's all. I don't want snow. My wife doesn't want snow. I want green, which is I think where you guys are lacking Pueblos. You're more of a desert area, just like Utah right now. So, I lived in Georgia for a year when I was in the Marine Corps. I loved that. I don't know if my wife can handle that kind of humidity and that kind of heat right away. We've been looking in Kentucky or, upper Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's the snow, isn't it, Angie? That's the one that I think kills Pennsylvania for my wife. So.
Garage the movie called
What's that?
Garage called World's Fastest Indian.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Something about where was that? Yeah, pilgrimage from Australia to Salt Flats Trace. Yeah, and actually, yeah, since I am here in the Salt Lake Valley, the Bonneville Salt Flats are only about an hour from here. Honestly, I've never been out there. Not to watch the race, not for Speed Week, which is actually a crime. I don't know why I haven't done it, other than it's really hot in August. It's out there. So yeah, that would be cool. I should probably go do that.
So what type of stores do you like thrifting in?
Well, we don't have a whole lot of choices here. We have a local, if you hadn't noticed, Utah is full of Mormons. So that's the predominant religion here. And they have a very good business system where they have thrift stores that everybody donates to and they sell back, at, like a thrift store would. It's called the Deseret Industries. And so they're all over the place here, and they're pretty good. They keep the average price. A shirt may cost $5, but they don't really do by brand. They say every long sleeve shirt will be $5 kind of idea, or every short sleeve shirt will be $4. So we have a lot of those. We have a handful of savers, 4 or 5 savers, and like 3 Goodwills. So those are the thrift stores that we go to. We just kind of pick basically which way we want to go and go out. Me and my wife Heather go out and hang out for a bit and hit a couple of thrift stores and then come go out to dinner and come home. That's our date night. That tells you how pitiful it is here that our date night is thrifting and dinner. So but we enjoy it. So
I was talking about Kentucky for there.
Huh?
They were talking about some of them were talking about moving you to Kentucky.
Yeah, that's like I said. We kind of looked at Kentucky. My wife's sister lives in Indiana, so and which is a little too cold for her, but it's getting close. So that's why Kentucky being right underneath that, we thought maybe we'd look there. Oh, see, who's Stephanie A? Because I'm into metrology. That's obviously what I do. Never heard of Stephanie A. I don't know who she is. Anyway, yeah, metrology. I don't say that too often because most people think I'm talking about the weather and meteorology, so I don't even try explaining it. Oh, hey, TT, how are you?
Hey, Turtle.
Yep.
It's still saying echo. Every once in a while I'm echoing, and other times I'm not. So I don't know.
I don't know. When you talk to me, sometimes you break up a little bit. You're not echoing, but that's why I keep asking you, huh? Because it kind of goes high, low, high, low.
That's when I'm hearing the echo.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. So anyway.
Oh,
okay, cool. Very good. Yeah, send me a message. I'm not necessarily looking for metrology jobs, but it's always good to know somebody else in the field. My wife tells us we're a bunch of little geeks, but we are. Who else is in the chat there? Who did we not? Let's call out some people, Chris.
Well, we got Rick. Yeah, Cheryl Ann, who was also saying I'm echoing. Got the crazy card. Leisure Picker, who you asked who he was. I said he's an oil watcher lately.
Oh, hey, Coco. I didn't see her.
Oh, yeah, Coco's there. Amelia is in the chat.
Nice.
Glad she didn't miss this broadcast.
Swamp Picker, that's good.
A Purple Lily. And, of course, Garage Flips and Tanya and Thrift Daddy.
Well, come on, guys. Let's hit me up with the hard questions.
Okay, Tanya, he wants the hard questions.
Yeah, all right, Tanya. I'm letting you loose. Go for it.
You didn't hear it when I said that she was going to ask you, right?
No.
She going to ask you what tree you want to be.
What tree I want to be?
Remember how when Margaret was here?
Yeah, that's true. She did. Didn't she want to be some big oak tree or something?
She just answered, okay, I'm on it.
Oh, you know what? Garage Flips. My wife just told me to tell you guys that. Garage Flips wants to know where Mothership Products came from. Well, it's kind of a weird story. We had a car, and it was a I can't even remember what kind of car it was. It was a Ford Festiva, something like that. I don't remember. It was a little car, and we had watched Star Wars, one of them. I don't remember which one. And they said it looked like an escape pod. So that's what we called it for the longest time, was, the escape pod. And then we went through a troublesome time, and we had a house and we lost it back in, 2010, something like that. And so we ended up moving into a trailer. Well, it ended up, if we have an escape pod, then the trailer must be the mothership. So I looked all through when I was putting together my LLC for anything to do with mountains, and all that was taken. But it ended up being, let's go with Mothership Products, something different. Doesn't really narrow me down to what I sell or what I do. I mean, it could be anything, right? Based on that, the name. And so that's where it came from. What is my favorite shark?
Yep.
You know where I live? There's no ocean in Utah. I don't live in Houston area. There's no ocean, so I don't really. I think the only thing we have here in the Great Salt Lake is brine shrimp, which, if you don't know what that is, when you grew up, those little what were they called? Monkeys, sea monkeys. When you're a kid, the little sea monkeys, those are brine shrimp. So that's the only thing that lives in the Great Salt Lake. Shark, I have nothing to go with on there. So I'm lost. I don't. I watch Discovery? No, I don't. Honestly, I don't even have TV. We don't have TV. We got tired of paying such a high price for it, and so all we have right now is the basic channels, which honestly I don't even watch that. The only thing I miss is football, and well, that's about it really. So there you go. Oh, some more people. Chad's here.
Yeah, just sure.
Deb. So
Oh, pinching the faces. Hey there, Deb. That's why I want to always 40 viewers. See, the big days are coming to watch you.
I know. See, that's I had to advertise because I had to get somebody to come watch. I didn't want to be the only guy that had like 8 viewers, and make your show a flunky. So I had to tell everybody I was going to be on here. Okay, let's see.
Garage First wants to know what you did in the Marines job-wise. You zoned out.
When I was in the Marine Corps, I was at Cryptotech, which I repaired and fixed and calibrated the communication security stuff. The scramblers, the encoders, decoders for secure communication. I also saw one that asked me about, one second, let me go up just a little bit. Oh, the most memorable experiences while living in the wilderness. That was a very sobering time in my life. I was 17. Me and my dad really didn't get along. I'd like to say it was all him, but no, it was definitely 50-50. We both we're both very hard-headed. So when I lived in the mountains, I think the thing that used to sober me the most was the fact that I had no way of telling time other than the sun. I didn't have a watch, so I kind of got up when the sun came up, and I'd hike down. It was about a mile down to my car. Then I'd drive to school, and hopefully would get there on time. And then I would drive back up to the canyon and park, and then hike back into my tent and kind of go to sleep when it got dark. Or I'd wander around, big bountiful Utah here, where there's 35,000 people back then, until I got bored, and then I'd just go back to my tent. So I think that was the hardest thing, that, and having to kind of live. I ate things probably most people wouldn't want to eat, but I didn't have a lot of things going for me at that time. That's one of the reasons that I chose to straighten my life out and join the military, which it did a great job of straightening me out. And it was a hard lesson to learn, that's for sure. So let's see.
Yeah, question on Tanya.
Oh, which one?
What is your biggest flop? Or no, biggest flip?
I have a lot of flops. I don't know about flips, but I have a lot of flops. Let's see, biggest as a percentage. I think my biggest one was probably there's 2. We'll do a test equipment one, and then we'll do a what I kind of been doing lately. My test equipment one, I had a Tektronix 492 spectrum analyzer, and I sold it to a man in it's either Argentina or Brazil. I can't remember, one of those two. And I sold it for $2,200, and I got it for free. Of course, those don't come around very often. What I do now with the clothing, I've had this happen twice, but I bought a Louis Vuitton tie that I think I paid $2.99 for it. I'd have to look up in my books, and I sold it for $109. So as a percentage of 100 times my money or whatever like that, that would probably be my biggest flip.
Okay, and her next question was, Why do all superheroes wear underwear on the outside?
Wow. I don't know. That's a good question. I guess it would look kind of funny if you didn't know. I mean, if it was like, say, Superman was all blue, I mean, it wouldn't leave a whole lot to the imagination, right? So you have to break it up with the red underwear out there. That would be my only guess. Let's see.
Deb saying that her best whip was a coffee bean roaster for home use.
Oh, I remember hearing about that. Didn't I believe your dad found that or something, right, Deb? Yeah, I think I heard about that one. So.
Well, I'll just say it again. I'm sure you have the same sentiment that you hope everybody's been having a good holiday weekend.
Oh, of course, of course. Deb wants to know, if I go full time, does my area have enough sourcing opportunities? Well, that is a great question, Deb, because I've often asked myself that. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff here, but I don't think I'm ready. I don't know enough about enough, which I don't think we ever do, but we probably never feel like we know enough about enough. But there's plenty of stuff here. I would just have to do a little bit more research into different avenues. If I was just to do men's clothing, probably not. I would have to definitely open it up and find out other things that sell, which I've been working on periodically for the last year. Just finding other things other than clothes. I kind of niched in clothes because, like everybody, it's the cheapest way in. You buy things for $1 or $2 and you sell it for $15, $20. Well, after a while, you get tired of that and you want to do something else and make a little bit more money. So.
You missed a question from Garage Flip. She says, "Did you really buy that shirt from a Mormon thrift store?"
Actually, yes, I did. Yes, I did. I paid a whole $3.99 for this shirt. I like it. It's loud, but it's also comfortable. And being I'm kind of a heavy guy, I sweat a lot, so I like shirts that are nice and fluffy and comfortable. I got to be comfortable. So, what areas? Oh, do you merch? I do not do merch. I don't have the. Well, I probably do, but I don't feel that I'm very creative. So I don't come up with good slogans or things that would be good on shirts. So, unfortunately, I wish I could. I wish I could find that one that makes you tons and tons of money, but no, not for me. Not at this point. I am signed up for merch, but I just have never, never come up with something that I thought was original enough, I guess. What areas do you think you might venture into? Well, I watch a lot of YouTube and I'm in a lot of the Facebook, so I like listening and watching what other people look into. I've obviously watched Chad and his electronics, and I have some of that stuff, but again, I really worry more about jostling old electronics and stuff like that. So I may go into that, but I don't know. Right now, like I'm doing, see, what do I have? Well, like I told Chris before we started, my son sets up expositions, and he just set up an exposition for Dr. Dre Beats. They were at this convention, and they left 40, I think he said 40 sets of Dr. Dre Beats, brand new headphones. And so I took, he said, I'll give him, he waited the 90 days. That's what his company mandates, that he waits 90 days. So it's not stealing. He makes sure that the company doesn't want it back or whatever. And then, so he gave me like 25 of them. And he said he'd split them with me. So basically everything that I make off of that will be, cash money. But, those are the kind of deals I'd like to look into. Obviously, I'm not going to find them for free all the time, but working on quantity would be nice. Those are all going to Amazon because they're pretty pretty close to new. I'm listing them as used, like new, because they're not exactly new, but they've never been used. So they were used as display units and stuff like that. So those are the kind of things. But yeah, I'm really open to everything. I've learned a lot from probably half the people in the chat. I mean, I've learned tons of stuff from Chad and Chris and Tanya and Deb. I mean, I try and learn as much about all the different avenues out there to make money. And I just try and do it that way, you know, try and find anything else, anything for a buck, you know.
Oh, speaking of burning from me, have you found any patterns lately?
You know, I was looking the other day, and I actually looked at patterns, which is, see, that's something I would not normally have done, because I looked at them and go, whatever. But I haven't found a good deal like you found, you know, your 100 or whatever for 12 bucks. They want, unfortunately, the places that I found them, they want, you know, $2 for one or two of them or something like that. And it's just not quite worth the money yet. But if I go to a garage sale and I see a big box of them, I definitely will look into them. So sometimes learning from people is not learning what to do, but what not to do, or what works and what doesn't work. You know, different people, you can learn by other people's failures as well, even if they're small failures or not necessarily failures. But if you know, if you try something and you come out and say, oh, well, I looked into this, it didn't work at all, then that's something I may not look into as much as I would normally. What is your favorite YouTube channel that is not reseller related? Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good question. Actually, most of mine are reseller related, but I watch a YouTube channel called 10-Second Songs, and it's one man who sings one song 10 different ways. Like he'll sound like Frank Sinatra or Michael Jackson, and they're all little 10 seconds. He'll sing all the same song, but different pieces of it in different styles. And I think it's pretty impressive to me. So, you know, I should go check him out. I think it's just 10-second songs. I can't even remember his real name, Vincent something. But and that's just for fun. I listened to a couple of his songs and I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive that he can sound like Michael Jackson and then, you know, sound like Adele, you know. So.
Well, we got a question you skipped over from Rick Day. I don't know if you can really answer this question. I think it's more of in regards to his post in the Reseller Society. That was, he said, you know anyone that can get negative feedback removed?
Yeah, actually, this I think Rick. By the way, Rick, when I commented that earlier, that wasn't supposed to be a negative comment towards you. It was to somebody else. It just happened to be on your. I clicked on yours and then answered somebody else. So what I told him was suck it up and move on, but it wasn't directed at Rick. It was actually, I was trying to answer somebody else, but you know, so there you go, Rick. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It wasn't me. But getting a negative, I'm sure you've been talking to other people, but depending on whether it's your fault or not, then you just call eBay, you know, and they can either, if it's your fault, I think yours was actually something about it smelled like smoke, which I don't know. I guess it really depends on the eBay person that you get a hold of on whether or not. I would probably say that you're kind of stuck with it, and unfortunately, that's the nature of the business. Sometimes you get stuck with stuff even though it's not your fault.
And he said he was joking, which is what I had a feeling, knowing Rick, the way he's been posting in the groups and stuff.
Yeah, I don't normally dog on people, so yeah, I was supposed to be directed elsewhere, and then I went, oh, and then when I saw his answer, and I'm like, oh, he probably thinks I'm an ass. So at least he came in here so that I could, you know, grovel. Tanya, I am drinking. Let's see, where else my thing? Blue Moon tonight. It's a Belgian white table pilsner. It's a seasonal release. They don't do these very often, so pretty tasty. Let's see what else we got.
Well, congrats your parents for a swamp since it's their 51st anniversary today.
Oh my goodness. 51 years, huh? Yeah, my parents are at 46, so yeah, they're coming up. Well, tell your parents congratulations, or as long as they're in the same room. Being together 51 years, they probably sleep in different rooms and work different schedules to stay together that long. I mean, really. Come on.
Who else besides me and Chad and Tanya do you watch that not many people would know about?
Oh, see, that's a problem because I watch what most everybody already knows. I was part of the green room, so of course I watch all the green room members. I'm not anymore. I haven't been for a while. Not because of them. It was just at the time I couldn't justify the return on the investment of my money. It might change soon. I may go join back up. Let's see, Deb, Chad. I mean, all the regulars. Steve Rakin. I guess some of these people probably don't know. Of course, Margaret, Texas Gal Treasures. Let's see, who else? Ronnie from Hearts Motor. I think probably the person I learned April. Of course, the reseller Stu, all those people. Probably the person. Oh, go ahead. Huh?
How many times are you late to their shows?
I'm late to everybody's show, Chris. You're not special. I'm late to everybody's show.
I got first time. You weren't late to this one.
Yeah, this one I wasn't late to, luckily. So, yeah, wow. I don't know why I'm always late too. I think most of it is just that life goes on, and then I realize, oh shit, it's 3 o'clock. I gotta go do this. So, anybody? I'm trying to think of anybody you guys probably don't know. I think everybody, everybody that I know. That's the problem. Not a problem, I guess. Just,
whenever I joke on you about it, when I say, "Oh, you showed up late,"
oh yeah, no, I don't take it offensively, and hopefully you're not taking it offensively that I'm late, because most of the time,
I will be honest. I told you before we started, I didn't think we were going to have many viewers, and we actually hit 40 viewers at one point tonight already.
Oh well, hey, that's not bad.
No, that's not bad considering.
I think it's all because of my shirt. All right, what does it say? Is your family's machine shop 100% auto repleted, or is it diverse? When you say repleted, what do you mean? It's an automotive machine shop. Starts, we don't take the car. My dad doesn't take the motors out, but once they're out, he can do everything to rebuild them. He builds race cars. He builds race motors. We've been a racing family in the valley here for way too many years. My dad's known by way more people than he knows. It's one of those, oh, I know Red. Yeah, that's my dad's nickname, of course. I can't imagine why. Oh, related. Okay. Yeah, no, it's not related. It's a commercial machine shop. It works for the public as well. So it's everything, every kind of, he builds owning generator motors all the way to high performance big block Chevys for drag racing, and for a while he was building monster truck motors for a couple of the guys out there, and then they went more national and went to crate motors. But yeah.
What brand is that sweet shirt?
I believe it's Pineapple Connection, which the reason for me it doesn't sell very well. That's why I got it, because I think it's a nice shirt, but it doesn't really sell. This one probably would sell pretty good because it's really bright. But yeah, Pineapple Connection doesn't really sell well for me, or doesn't try and get the price point I like to get. And then this just happened to be my size. So
Oh, we got about 9 more minutes before the show's over. So, any more questions for Duane? Get them in now.
man, you guys gave me easy questions.
Okay, here's what would you do if you couldn't be doing both your jobs? Like if you couldn't be reselling and you couldn't be doing your other job, what else? What would you really want to be doing?
Wow. I don't know. If I didn't have this job, if I didn't have my reselling business and I didn't have my normal job, what would I do? Huh?
Be a park ranger.
My wife says be a park ranger, but they don't make enough money. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I'm sure I could find something to do. I can weld. I can do stuff like that. So I'd probably end up doing some kind of manufacturing job or something like that. Probably not what I would want to do, but you know, when you have a family, you do what you got to do to put money on the table. If it was a dream job, I don't know, man. I'm pretty happy with what I got. So if I couldn't do it, I don't know what I would do. But I'd find something to pay some bills, you know, at least most of the bills.
We have a question from Cheryl Ann. She wants to know, what is your hobbies?
Oh, Cheryl Ann. See, these are the hard ones. Like I said, I like nature. So, I mean, I like to hike. I like to fish. I used to ride my bike, you know, ride a not a motorbike, but a mountain bike for a while. I really like spending time in nature. So that and my family, of course, I do things with my family. Right now, something I'm doing, which I never thought I would, was once a week I get together with my two sons and we play Dungeons and Dragons. Something that, you know, way back in the day, back in the 80s, you know, I played for a very short time, but my son decided he wanted to try it. And so we made it happen, and it's a lot of fun. You know, it's more about spending time together and making memories than the actual game. And since my older son is 23, he's married and busy all the time, so it's hard to find time to get together. You know, when he's not working and I'm not working and my youngest son's not working. My youngest son doesn't do anything. All he does is sit and watch and play video games right now. So, you know, he's 16 or will be in the next couple of days. Plus he's on the higher end of the autism spectrum. So he has some challenges that way, but not too bad, you know.
We get a question from Parrot Head Picker. He wants to know, you mentioned earlier that you sell a lot of high-end men's clothes. What is your favorite brands?
My favorite brands? Well, let's see. My favorite brands. I'm looking over at my shirts right now to pick out a couple. Of course, Robert Graham. They make good money, especially if you find the more crazy, the better. I do a lot of. I've been doing quite a bit of the different Hawaiian shirts lately. Ryan Spooner. I like Ryan Spooner a lot. Or Ryan, or however you say it. I don't know. Everybody says it different. I've been having good sales with Cinch lately. I'm not exactly sure why. That's a Denver, Colorado brand, but it sells pretty good. I love Nat Nast. They're a silk shirt company that they usually do some themed shirts that I really like. Of course, all of my bread and butter stuff, Brooks Brothers. I used to do Polo, Ralph Lauren stuff, but that's really saturated. And Tommy Bahama used to do that, and that's really saturated. So I steer away from them now. Territory Ahead, Pendleton. I mean, there's a grundle of them, like Dolce and Gabbana. I've got a couple of those. Couple Versace's, but not so much. Okay, so Rain Spooner. now that I know. But those are the main ones. And then if I do suits or stuff, then it's Laura Piana and stuff like that. Those kind of different what I'm trying to say, fabrics. Laura Piana is a high-end fabric. So, but yeah, I do a lot of I like ties too. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I was going to ask you a question, but I'll let you finish.
Oh, I do some ties. Got some ties here. A lot of Brooks Brothers. Like I said, I love Louis Vuitton, which I don't find very often. There's a Burberry new with tags, Brioni, Hermès, and then the EZ, whatever the heck, Emerald Guild, no Zegna. No sports clothes. No, I don't do a lot of sports clothes. I mean, I do once in a while. I'll come up with some decent spider stuff, but for the most part, it's more dressy clothes. They seem to pull in a little bit more higher on the profit point for me. Do I do garage sales too? I would, but my wife and I have a hard time getting out of bed. I enjoy garage sales, but they just they're early in the morning, and I just haven't committed. We did a couple of years ago. We went quite a bit, but we just haven't gone so much this year. We've been lazy. That I'm the biggest blockage for my own business. So.
Okay, my last question for you, since we get 2 more minutes before the end of the show.
Okay.
Is, how come you've been on the podcast and you've been on a couple of my video of me in January,
Right.
About life and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
How come you don't do your own videos?
Well, to be honest, most of my knowledge in the reselling world is regurgitated from everybody else. So I don't know if I would have anything other to add that isn't found by somebody else out there. I mean, I don't have any original things that I've looked up. I mean, granted, I have a different opinion on things, and the way I run my business is a little different in some cases, but for the most part, most of my knowledge has come from you guys already. So to me, it would be, why would I watch, why would I want to put out somebody else's stuff already?
In the reality, most of our stuff is regurgitated from somebody else that we learned from. So,
well, and
that might be new, finds you might tell them a different way that teaches them differently. They might learn different from you than from me.
That's true. I guess I would just feel, and it's not that I won't do it. And I've talked about it. I just don't know, first of all, if people would watch me for any other reason other than this cool shirt. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just, I may still do it. I don't know. Being I'm also part-time, that I just feel that there's better knowledge out there. But it's like you said, it's opinion.
Well, I've already got a couple of people that say they'd watch. So.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I appreciate that. Let's see. Sure, we would. I enjoy hearing us. And Idaho Falls Picker. This is a really cool shirt. See, I'm telling you, the only reason we're getting views is this shirt. Had I worn something else, something boring, we wouldn't have these views. I'm doing you a service right here, Chris. Oh, come on, Tanya. Those were all the hard questions. You gave me 2 hard ones.
Well, there's other questions coming in, so she didn't have to do all her questions.
What's that?
I said there was other questions coming in, so she didn't have to do all her hard questions.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true. That's true. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, you know what? I'm crushed. Tanya, you didn't ask the one question that I thought you would ask. Come on. I'll give you one more chance to ask it before the game it's over. And I'm just going to let you figure it out what the question is. And no, it's not about being a stalker.
While we're waiting to see if Tanya can come up with a question for you or any other possible last-minute questions,
That's not it, Tanya.
I want to thank everybody for watching, especially since it's the holiday weekend. I don't know what I'm going to pull off for a Wednesday night yet, but I'm sure I'll be doing a show. If not, I will definitely let everybody know. But next Sunday, I know we have a good topic that because Rebecca's going to be back for the show. And she has something that she wanted to hit on, so we're going to talk about it and get her perspective on everything. So I know some people have already talked about it, but she's new to the community, so good. Like I was telling, we told Duane, more perspective is better for everybody to learn from. So did they come up with a question yet, Duane?
No, she failed. I can't believe you, Tanya. Okay, yes, I'm a real redhead. I'm a guy. Guys don't normally, change their hair color to red unless they're gray and going back to red.
You're a ginger.
My wife says I'm a ginger. But the question was, have I ever been to jail? Tanya, you missed your chance. You'll never know now.
Well, Leisure Picker said, we'll all subscribe so you'll start making haul videos.
Well, I'll think about it, guys. I'm more than happy to come on other people's channels at any time if they need any, any fillers or anything like that. I'll think of, maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. Too late, Tanya. You'll never know. You will never know.
You'll have to ask me a private message.
Yep. You'll have to catch me when I'm, had a little bit more to drink or something.
All right. I want to thank everybody for watching. Well, unless you want to answer Parrothead's last question before I leave.
Yeah, I can answer that. If I look at my numbers, right now it says I make more money on Amazon, but I put more work into eBay. So I guess that would be the easiest way to say it is I'm more focused on eBay, but I make more money on Amazon. So there you go. Hey, thanks for having me, Chris. This is great. Thanks everybody in the chat for all the questions that were popped up and letting me know that maybe I should make a YouTube channel. I don't know. And no, my shirt is not for sale, but thank you. I'm glad that everybody likes my shirt.
All right, thank you everybody for watching, and yeah, definitely thanks for being on, Duane.
Sure, anytime.
Well, maybe I'll have you be the fill-in for when Rebecca can't make it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or rotate it to the WP and MP.
Yeah. What you should do is try and get some of these people that you don't know much about, like Coco, get her out of her shell, or some of those people that are a little more hidden, and see if you can't get them out of their shell and just do their life.
Well, that's what I wanted to have happen, but I also didn't want to go around chasing people down and making them feel uncomfortable. So.
Oh, I know. I don't mean to make anybody uncomfortable. I just like to tease them. I hopefully they know that. See, look at her. She's all like, "Oh." No, I think she would do. She probably wouldn't do it, but I don't think she's. And
I'm not gonna be having an after show, so since it is the holiday, I know fireworks are gonna be going off. So let people go out and sneak out, see if they can catch some. And I will see you Wednesday night.
enjoy, all.